On January 31st, beneath the lights of Madison Square Garden, this won't just be power versus precision, it will be a quiet battle of minds, where legacy, doubt, and discipline collide, and only one man leaves with his future intact. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. The boxing calendar has little patience. Each year demands a moment that defines its direction, and on January 31st, beneath the familiar lights of Madison Square Garden, that moment arrives without spectacle, without apology. At its center stands Teofimo Lopez, WBO and Ring Magazine super lightweight champion, 28 years old, established, tested, a fighter whose career has moved between brilliance and instability, between composure and combustion. He has often performed best when expectation feels heaviest. He speaks about his opponent's defense not with admiration, but with intention. He believes there are flaws others refuse to see. His responsibility, as he frames it, is to expose them, to look beyond the surface, to dismantle what appears untouchable. Around him, confidence is not quiet. His father describes the fight as a matter of calculation, a few rounds of study, then resolution, pressure, pace, force of will. The language is certain, almost dismissive. Yet beneath that certainty is something more fragile, the need to be proven right. Lopez does not deny Shakur Stevenson's skill. He questions his tolerance for impact, for vulnerability, for the possibility of failure under lights that do not forgive hesitation. For Lopez, boxing is not only physical endurance but psychological clarity. He returns repeatedly to the mind, preparation, discipline, the ability to withstand noise both external and internal. He describes mentality as a muscle, something trained quietly, something built through repetition and self-examination. The routines, the adjustments, the patience to understand timing, not only of punches, but of decisions. In his view, victory depends less on spectacle and more on control, not just of the opponent, but of oneself. This fight is framed as a meeting of equals, Brooklyn and Newark, close in geography, distant in temperament, one known for volatility and explosive offense, the other defined by restraint and precision, power meeting discipline, urgency confronting patience. Lopez carries the titles he won in 2023 and prepares to defend them again. Publicly, he speaks in absolutes, that no one can defeat him at 140 pounds. Privately, the stakes are heavier. Legacy, validation, the quiet burden of proving that past victories were not isolated peaks but part of something sustained. He suggests Stevenson is moving up to make a statement. That ambition, perhaps inspired by historic performances elsewhere in the sport, is driving this challenge. There is history between them, shared affiliations, comparisons, perceptions of investment and favoritism. Lopez speaks openly about feeling overlooked, about being seen as secondary. Obsession, he admits, has followed him. It is a word he does not reject. Meanwhile, Stevenson expresses certainty of his own. He calls this his time. He speaks of intelligence, of dominance, of clarity of purpose. Two fighters, both convinced not only of victory, but of inevitability. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. In training, Lopez works under the watchful presence of his father. Encouragement is constant. Focus is demanded. There is insistence that joy remain part of the process, that tension not consume preparation. Each session becomes a quiet rehearsal for composure. Each correction an attempt to eliminate doubt before it has room to grow. January 31st will not simply test strength or speed. It will test discipline under scrutiny. It will test how each man carries expectation, not the noise of prediction, but the weight of identity. In a sport where silence can be more revealing than noise, this contest feels less like a spectacle and more like an examination, not just of skill, but of resolve. In the quiet of the gym, encouragement often sounds simple. Have fun, his father tells him. It is not a careless instruction. It is a reminder that beneath the noise, beneath expectation and reputation, there must remain a sense of ease, a looseness. Because tension, if left unchecked, can harden a fighter before a punch is ever thrown. Teofimo Lopez Sr. speaks with unwavering certainty about his son. He describes more than preparation, he describes inheritance, style, speed, instinct, a kind of natural expression in the ring that cannot be manufactured or copied. He references the past, invoking fighters who moved with flair and confidence, suggesting that what his son carries is not imitation but something innate. When asked about the atmosphere in camp, he returns to the same theme: mentality. Health matters, of course, strength matters. But clarity of mind, he suggests, matters more. He sees focus. He sees maturity within the 140-pound division. He speaks not only of this fight, but of what may follow, more titles, perhaps even undisputed status. The belief is absolute. Across the country, in Las Vegas, Shakur Stevenson prepares in a different rhythm. He has chosen not to chase size. No dramatic transformation. No visible obsession with adding weight. His emphasis remains on refinement, speed, timing, technique. He believes boxing ability, not muscle, will determine what happens on January 31st. This camp feels different to him, not because of the weight class, but because of absence. Time away from his daughter. Distance from the woman he plans to marry. The isolation required at this level is rarely discussed in detail, but it lingers in the background of every session. Focus demands sacrifice, and sacrifice leaves its own quiet mark. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. He speaks calmly about his preparation, nutrition handled by professionals, routines carefully maintained, attention paid to what allows him to feel sharp. He describes himself as more precise than ever, faster, clearer, mentally aligned. His confidence is steady. He believes he has always been elite, even when others doubted him. He remembers the losses in the amateurs, the predictions that someone else would carry Olympic gold. He remembers the rematch, and the correction. Those early dismissals did not disappear, they settled somewhere deeper, shaping how he approaches moments like this. At the press conference, he dismisses concerns about size. He does not see Lopez as physically overwhelming. He speaks instead of performance, of delivering something cleaner, more complete than before. When asked about weaknesses, he does not focus on physical flaws. He returns to the mind. He suggests that what will decide the fight exists beneath the surface. Lopez, in turn, acknowledges Stevenson's skill. He does not question the technique. He questions something less measurable: composure under impact, composure under scrutiny. He reflects on past sparring sessions, brief encounters used to measure rhythm and reaction. In his view, there is a moment beyond the jab, a threshold that changes everything. He speaks about contracts, about how fights feel different once ink meets paper. The pressure shifts. Anticipation becomes obligation. It is one thing to want a fight, it is another to stand inside it, accountable for every word spoken beforehand. Between them, there is history, shared amateur circuits, shared promotional space at one time, comparisons drawn, sometimes publicly, sometimes quietly. Both have heard the narratives, both have carried them. Now, the conversation narrows, not to spectacle, not to noise, but to the simple question that lingers beneath every statement of certainty: who remains composed when the lights are brightest, and when doubt, however brief, enters the mind? I am Pressure. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. It is a simple statement, but it carries the weight of experience. Teofimo Lopez does not speak as a prospect chasing validation. He speaks as a fighter who has already walked through defining nights, victories over Josh Taylor, over Vasily Lomachenko, performances that reshaped how he is viewed within the sport. Those wins were not accidents. They were moments where expectation met execution. Because of that history, many see him not merely as a champion, but as a potential interruption, a disruption in someone else's ascent. For Shakur Stevenson, this move to 140 pounds is more than a change in weight. It is an attempt to extend a narrative, toward pound-for-pound recognition, toward titles in multiple divisions, toward something lasting. But progress in boxing is rarely linear. It is tested, often abruptly, by men who refuse to become stepping stones. Lopez is widely regarded as the standard at this weight: strong, explosive, capable of turning a tactical exchange into something far more decisive. If Stevenson is to succeed here, he must absorb more than punches. He must absorb presence, the physical force Lopez applies, and the psychological unpredictability that accompanies it. Technically, the margins are thin. Lopez's footwork is measured, his timing deliberate, particularly against southpaws. Stevenson's responsibility will be to control distance, to command the center of the ring, to maintain rhythm without allowing the tempo to drift into chaos. It is not enough to be skilled. He must be precise under strain. Observers are divided. Some believe Stevenson's discipline and defensive clarity can neutralize Power over 12 rounds. Others question whether refinement alone is enough at this level. There is a recurring sentiment within the sport: reputation must be reinforced against proven resistance. Several voices, including fellow champions, have urged caution around premature elevation. Skill is acknowledged. Talent is not denied. But boxing has always required something more: proof delivered under duress. Respect, in this arena, is rarely granted in advance. At the same time, others view this contest as evenly balanced. Two fighters, both accomplished, both tested. A true 50-50 encounter where style and adaptability may matter more than prediction. In that framing, the outcome hinges not on narrative, but on adjustment. Who reads the moment faster, who corrects mistakes sooner, who remains composed when momentum shifts. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. The fascination lies there. If Stevenson succeeds at 140, the trajectory changes. He moves beyond promise toward permanence. If Lopez prevails, he reinforces his position not only as champion, but as the barrier others must overcome. This is not simply about ignition of a market or the expansion of a brand. It is about threshold, about whether ambition withstands resistance. When the bell rings, the noise will fade. What remains will be timing, distance, and decision-making measured in seconds. Preparation meeting adaptability. Belief meeting consequence. In the end, this contest may not be decided by talent alone. Both men possess it. Both have stood on Olympic stages. Both have carried titles across divisions. Their credentials are not in dispute. What remains uncertain is how those credentials hold under sustained pressure, not the noise of promotion, but the steady erosion that occurs when a plan begins to unravel. Observers who study the matchup closely tend to return to the same contrast. Lopez appears to carry a slight edge in raw strength. In tight exchanges, along the ropes, in moments where space disappears, that strength could become decisive. He is capable of compressing distance, of forcing engagements that feel uncomfortable. Stevenson, by comparison, is defined by movement. His footwork, his timing, the economy of his hands, these are not designed for spectacle, but for control. Speed, when disciplined, can disrupt force. Agility, when sustained, can dissolve aggression. The question is not whether he can evade power for a moment, but whether he can do so consistently, round after round. This tension transforms the fight into something quieter than many expect. Not a reckless exchange, but a negotiation of inches. Positioning, tempo, reaction, small adjustments that may go unnoticed unless carefully observed. The outcome may hinge on who dictates rhythm, who imposes their preferred distance and denies the other comfort. Some analysts caution that this is not a night for casual interpretation. It will not be defined by constant collisions, but by subtleties. The slight turn of a shoulder, the half-step that changes an angle, the restraint to wait rather than rush. Without attention to these details, the deeper story of the fight could be missed. There is also a broader context. A new generation has begun testing itself openly, challenging peers rather than avoiding them. The idea is simple: clarity through confrontation. Let the ring answer what speculation cannot. In that sense, this matchup feels like part of a larger shift, an insistence that legitimacy be earned directly. Whoever emerges will not only claim victory on the night, he will move closer to defining the hierarchy of his era. But before any of that, there is this: two fighters, comparable accomplishments, contrasting strengths, a shared understanding that reputation offers no protection once the bell sounds. The edge may belong to the one who remains most disciplined when momentum shifts, who recognizes the quiet turning points and responds without hesitation. Under pressure, intelligence reveals itself, and resilience, more than anything, leaves a lasting imprint. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss any of our upcoming videos.